Georgia National Weather Service predicts the ongoing hurricane may stretch for the next few days. Severe flooding has occurred in the coastal regions of Brunswick. Route 34, 49, and 51 have been blocked due to the flooding. Authorities advise residents who are living in these areas to remain in their homes and not drive through flooded roadways, as water depth and road conditions can be hard to determine. Listening to the news on the radio, Evelyn dropped the map and leaned back with a sigh. Now what are we going to do? Don't worry, we'll make it eventually. I told you we should have evacuated when they gave the first flood warning, but you didn't listen, and now we're stuck in the storm. The rain had been pouring heavily since dawn. Robert and Evelyn were the last of the people who had evacuated their homes in the area to head further inland. Unfortunately, the conventional route they were to follow had been blocked off, and the alternative route they had taken seemed to be in no less of a horrible condition. As the thunder rumbled and the rain poured even heavier, not only making the wheels skid, but making it difficult to see anything ahead of them so late at night, Robert had no choice but to stop the car. Give me the map. You never listened to me, Rob. Robert scanned the map for a while. If we drive 15 more minutes down this route, I think we'll reach a guest house. So the couple waited a while, and when the rain had lessened just a bit, they began to drive. It took almost half an hour to get there. But the couple finally reached the small motel. They got down to see another car had been parked ahead of them. Quickly getting out their luggage, Robert shut down the car, and at once everything fell dark around them. Carefully making it down the path, they ran towards the front shade, when they noticed another young woman standing there, soaking wet. Is the motel closed? I don't know. I've rung the bell, but no one is opening. I've been standing here for a while now. Robert walked to the door and tried listening for any sound before he knocked. Is anyone there? Evelyn stood waiting as Robert and the young woman tried peeking through the windows. She couldn't help but notice her husband keep looking at her. Annoyed, Evelyn shrugged. When suddenly, she noticed a rope tied to the hook just above the door. What's this? She pulled on it, and at once a loud bell rung on top of the building. Within a while, the three began to hear footsteps approaching the door from inside. And soon a tall man opened the door, with a candle in his hand. So many people at this time of the night? You all must be here due to the flooding. Yes, we were actually looking for a place to lodge in the storm. Are there any rooms available here? Yes, come in. The man allowed the three in and escorted everyone to the hall. The weather has been quite harsh for the past few days. The electricity has been out since morning, so the bell hasn't been working, he said as he lit another candle and set it by the sofa. Well, with the condition outside, we're lucky to have gotten a place to stay. Thank you. You all can sit here, and please allow me some time to clean the rooms upstairs. I'll take your luggages there. Are there any arrangements for food here? Not at the moment. In this hurricane, none of the stores or shops have been open for a while. But let me see what I can do. In the mean, I'll get you all some coffee. As the man took his candle and left, Evelyn let out a breath of relief and sat down. At least now we're out of the rain. I've gotten a headache. Robert turned to look at the young woman and smiled. I'm Dr. Robert Peterson, and this is my wife, Evelyn. I'm Kathleen Collins. I'm sorry, but I can't seem to place why you look so familiar. Have we met before? I'm an actress. I've done a few ad films recently. Perhaps that's why. Oh, you're from the new BI 15-inch color TV ad. I almost couldn't recognize you in this darkness. Yes, that was me. We were actually a bit late to evacuate during the storm and we got stuck out here. But how did you end up here? I was traveling to Savannah to shoot another film, but the weather became so horrible, I stopped here hoping I could stay for the night. I would have left if you two hadn't arrived." "Wow, what luck," Evelyn murmured as she looked into the rain. Within a while, the man walked down and placed the coffee on the table. "Your rooms will be ready in just a while," he said before he went upstairs. As Evelyn quickly picked up her coffee to relieve her headache, she stared at Robert pick up a cup and offer Kathleen first. As a heavy gust of wind blew through the window, Kathleen shivered, taking a sip of her coffee. It's quite a chilly night. And you know what's perfect for nights like these? Listening to scary stories. "Excellent. Why don't you share a story?" "All right, if you insist. I actually know of quite a haunting tale. They say it's a true story. There was a young couple who flew from here to Italy to visit family after a long time. There they were traveling from a city to a coastal town and decided to take a scenic route to explore the country as well. But it was on the way, as they were crossing through a series of secluded mountain towns, that they stopped at a gas station to refill. However, seeing them, the gas station owner was quite surprised. "Are you two foreigners?" "No, we're from San Remo. We're actually on our way home." San Remo is still a long way from here. Not a lot of cars come in this direction. "That's strange. It's so beautiful here." No, these mountains have a dark secret. This place was once known for witchcraft. It's not safe here, especially at night. That's why people tend not to drive through here. Perhaps you two shouldn't either." "Dark secret? What dark secret?" The couple were intrigued, hearing of a strange legend passed on by the mountain villagers. A long time ago, there was a small town in those mountains. The valleys of Liguria were abundant with provisions. The olive groves, the vineyards, the animals. The people had never expected the coming of a harsh famine. Their crops began to fail overnight. Their cows became milkless. Their livestock began to perish without cause. Everything came so suddenly, it raised suspicion among the people. However, it wasn't until some men caught a few women sneaking out of their homes in the middle of the night that they discovered the real cause behind the chaos. These women were witches. They used to gather at night to conjure against the villagers. When the word spread, those women were all brought out and banished from their homes and expelled from the society. The trials lasted for 2 years. Some 30 women were alleged. Their properties were seized and their families were left homeless. They had no choice but to leave. But before they did, they cursed the men of that town. "You are no men, you all are wolves." They say those women seek shelter in those mountains, but as for the townsmen, no one knows what happened of them. But legend has it that they turned into wolves, now serving the witches as guardians of the hills Liguria. After sharing the legend, the man insisted that they stay the night at the station and continue their journey after sunrise. "Don't worry, mister, we'll be fine. We have family waiting for us." "Then be careful. If you happen to see anything, don't get down from your car. It's better you hurry and cross over as soon as you can." So the couple continued their journey, not paying much heed to the man's words. Superstitions in these small towns weren't uncommon. But some hours into traveling, the couple fell into quite a dilemma when they lost their way. "Liam, I don't think we're getting anywhere." "You're right. Let me see if I can find anything or anyone around here. Maybe we can get directions." So the young man began walking, hoping to spot a stall or a house down the hills, when he suddenly spotted a man walking a distance up ahead. "Excuse me, mister, would you happen to know which way it is to San Remo?" "This way." "Are you sure? We've come from that direction, and it's like we've been going in circles." "These mountains are my home." "All right, thank you." With that, the young man hurried back to his car. But just as he sat down, the couple stared at the man he had just spoken to, suddenly began to change. His back began to hunch, his arms and legs began to grow, until he bent over on the ground and walked off as a wolf. As Robert finished the story and looked up at Kathleen, her eyes were wide and bright. That was so scary. I don't know how I'll be able to sleep alone tonight. What a stupid story. Now my head is hurting even more, Evelyn said, giving Kathleen a cold glare as she watched her staring at her husband. What did this girl think of herself? All of a sudden, the three turned to the creaking sound of the stairs to see the man had finally returned. The rooms are ready. You may all go upstairs. Evelyn got up in a hurry, followed by Robert and Kathleen. What is it? Why are you so upset? It's like you can't control yourself when you see women. Sharing scary stories, entertaining her? And what did she say? She won't be able to sleep alone tonight? Maybe you should go and sleep with her. That's what you really wanted, right? Evelyn, I was only trying to pass the time. It was nothing like that. Evelyn looked at him furiously before she went to bed without another word. Robert lay down beside her and sighed. She could be so moody. I don't think there'll be any arrangements for food. We'll have to pass the night like this. But Evelyn silently lay, facing the other way. Robert closed his eyes, trying to rest. When suddenly, there was a knock on the door. Robert got up to answer it. I've made some arrangements for food. Please do come down for dinner. Sure, we'll be there in a while. So Robert and Evelyn left and went down to the dining area. The smell of roasted meat was heavy in the air, and in this cold, Robert was quite hungry. The couple sat down as the man brought out a platter of steak. Where is the other young woman? Isn't she coming down for dinner? She has fallen asleep, he said as he served both Robert and Evelyn the steak. As hungry as he was, Robert immediately started eating. But Evelyn scrunched her nose, looking at the food. I don't want to have meat. Will it be possible to arrange any vegetables or fruit? No, madam. I'm not sure if I'll find any groceries around here, but perhaps I might be able to bring you some apples from the tree behind the motel. As Robert went to take a sip of water, he suddenly noticed how murky it was. The water is dirty. Perhaps due to the storm. This motel is very old. The plumbing and sewage has worn out. It seems the tap water has become contaminated. So what now? How will we arrange clean water? That shouldn't be a problem. It's raining so heavily out. I'll see if I can collect some clean rainwater for drinking. As the man went outside through the back door, Evelyn got up with a sneer. I'm going to see what's in the kitchen. How does this man even live here with absolutely nothing? You know, this isn't that bad. We can manage for one night. But Evelyn picked up the candle and walked away. The kitchen was practically empty, except for a pan, some knives and utensils. The cabinets were all empty. On the counter were a few pieces of steak, cut up and marinated. Finally reaching up to the pantry, Evelyn opened up, hoping to find some sort of food. But as soon as she went inside, she got a smell of something strange. Lifting up the candle, Evelyn walked into an empty room, when suddenly she froze as her feet hit something, a table. Evelyn looked down, startled by what she saw. She stepped back, seeing Kathleen laying there, her lifeless eyes wide open, staring at her. Evelyn's heart began to race as she noticed a portion of her body was missing. Missing? Was it the... Steak? Evelyn held her stomach, feeling sick. When suddenly, she heard a noise from behind her as the pantry door creaked open. She slowly turned to see the man staring at her with a disturbing look in his eyes and a butcher's knife in his hand. "Is everything all right, madam? Do you need anything?" "There's a motel. Maybe we can stop here for the night." "The bell isn't working." "Here's the rope to the other bell." "You all must be here due to the flood. Are there any rooms available for all of us tonight?" "Yes, come in." "And arrangements for food?" "Only steak." Click on the subscribe button and check out more awesome videos on our channel. And don't forget to press the bell icon because you know it's interesting.